Hello everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope you guys had a nice weekend too, enjoyed it, relaxed. And let's dive into some analysis on GameStop. So, looking good so far, huh? We got our first impulse off the low. Big high five, big round of applause for those of you who actually picked some more GameStop up around this area. This is exactly where I was posting where I was buying more ahead of my buy area. Again, I sensed some possible truncation where we could not actually come down to this area, right? It's still there, but I don't know if we're gonna hit there, right? I didn't think that we're gonna hit my target. It was starting to look a little bit too bullish. Saw some buying, saw some reversal signals, so I pulled trig, and it looks like so far so good. Now I'm not here to tout that. Oh, look at me! I bought the low. I did actually not buy the low. I actually bought right around 21.75. But I guess some people did better. We got 21.60, 21.56 or something like that, 21.55. But anyways, regardless of that, we have our first wave one. So we finished this on the smaller time frames with divergence. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I was actually getting a little bit worried once we had three waves up, an impulse off the low with no divergence. I was like, oh boy, I hope we can come up next week and take it out, which is what we did. So now we can breathe a little bit easier now that we have our first impulse off the low. Now, on the bigger picture, we may need a little bit of a pullback, like a very small one. This is on the smaller time frames, of course. So just know, the price has already come down just a little bit like this, and you've got erasal of divergence. Technically, it can end at any moment, and you can continue to run up like this, right? You can continue to impulse out and try to V-shape out of here. Now, as much as I would like to say that that's what's going to happen, I cannot guarantee anything, right? And when we take a look at the bigger picture, which is always what you want to do, we want to take a look at where we are in the cycle. Now, we would take a look at the daily time frame, and we have downsloping trend line on the RSI, and we have a nice little breakout here, right? We have a breakout out of the daily time frame. Very good news. It's signaling that this cycle down, right, this correction down, this wave 2 that we've been tracking this entire time is possibly finally coming to an end. And if it is coming to an end, that's great, right? We can look to accumulate on a heavier basis if it does decide to dip back down, double bottom, or do some more stuff like that, right? Chop around, do a little bit more choppiness. We know that this cycle towards the downside is coming to an end, and we're going to be looking to get into this wave 3 cycle, which is the most impulsive one, right? A lot of people are really happy when we got this breakout right here, right? When we broke out and we started to run up on this first wave 1, and people thought the gains were, oh my god, it's like a 76% gain in GameStop. It's amazing. Trust me, the wave 3 is going to be even better, right? But I don't want to get people too excited. I don't want to dangle like, oh my god, there's so many gains to be made, right? It's always about risk management and how much you can lose, right? So you always want to be a little bit nimble, and you want to be humble to the market, because if people who like to go tout how much they're putting in, and I'm putting in so much money right now, I'm not going to be wrong, the market will take your money away from you, right? So right now, I would say we're in a very good spot in terms of GameStop. I really like the setup right now, and we have our first impulse. Now we would need to look for a retrace in wave 2, and then continue this impulse out on the larger time frames, right? We want to see this continue to break out on the 1 hour time frame, right? You maybe a little bit more retrace, and then another impulsive wave 3, take out this high. Now then you'll know you're in your wave 3, and then you want another 4 and a 5. Now this would confirm, right? This would confirm your first wave 1, and then you come back down for another 2, right? And then you can look at more patterns, right? Where are we in a inverse head and shoulders? What's going on? And then you can continue to chart and trade from there on forth. But so far so good, nothing to complain about. Let's take a look at the market cipher indicator here. So I'll start off with the new weekly time frame. So the new weekly candle looking good. As I said last week, I think that we are going to start to curve a little bit smoother here. I did not want to see it expand towards the downside, so this is really good news. And you also have the VWAP coming up. The VWAP is the yellow wave here, so it is coming up along with the momentum wave. Again, we don't have a definitive bottom on the weekly time frame just yet, but I feel like once the weekly starts to bottom out, something like this, you'll know it when you see it, because it's probably going to be like a big up week, right? It's going to be like an 18-20% up week in GameStop. Then you'll know, yeah, okay, the bottom's kind of in now. But the 4-day time frame looking good as well. 3-day, 2-day, there you go. The 2-day printed a nice green dot here. It hasn't confirmed yet. It's going to confirm when the next candle close tomorrow. The new daily time frame, you have a 21 and a -3 on the dual band strength index, still looking very strong. The 4-hour time frame, now you have strong recovery in price. However, money flow is not following that much, right? You have a nice rally from the lows here, nice little 9-10% rally. But the money flow isn't following that much. So that's why I said we got to be careful for a retrace in wave 2. It could still do some nonsense like this, and the money flow kind of dilly-dallies, but eventually it'll follow up towards the upside. So for those of you who missed the dip buy here when I posted, then you may get a second opportunity in this wave 2. And we'll explore the bearish possibilities too, but we'll get into that in just a bit. When we take a look at the 1-hour time frame, you're still in red money flow again. So we're still in this wave one, or we could still be wave 1, but I think the wave 1's come to an end, and we're about to enter wave 2, which is going to be our retrace wave. 30-minute time frame looking good, green money flow. And then obviously if you get on the smaller time frames, 15-minute, it is still looking good. So technically it really can continue to impulse out here and erase divergence, and the wave 2 could already be in, but I don't know. I'm not the one to trade the minute time frames. I attempted it here and I got pretty close. I did pretty well for myself. I got in at 22. So not a bad trade for me, and not a bad dip buy for sure. So I guess I was okay on the smaller time frame. Some people are really good at it, but I'm not the best. Let's take a look at Wave Edge version 2. So again, we got this big dip buy signal that day, and then we have a green cross today, another bullish sign of a potential reversal. Let's take a look at the larger time frames. Weekly time frame, not anything new. 4-day, 3-day. Oh, the 4-day, you actually have a nice little green cross here, but you printed a new candle on the 4-day. It's going to close tomorrow. 3-day, 2-day, and the daily. Yeah, nothing really new except for maybe the daily, right? Like I mentioned. The 4-hour time frame, nothing new going on here. The 1-hour time frame, nope, nothing. 15-minute, 30-minute. So okay, you can see that the people who did buy the dip here are already taking some profit. So again, a retrace is not out of the questions. And again, you got a gap fill down here, right? You got a gap fill at 21.94. So maybe if the markets tomorrow have a bad day, like they had a bad day today, maybe GameStop will retrace and fill that gap. But again, the markets had a pretty nasty day today again, and GameStop held up very well. It was only down 85 basis points, so not a bad day for GameStop still. And Wave Edge version 1 I like to use on the smaller time frames, but still works very well on the larger. So you can see on this dip buy day, we also got that nice signal on the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frame as well. 30-minute time frame, yeah. So I still think that we're still in some choppy waters here, but we've had a tremendous reaction already, right? It's even though it's not a superb rally, like a 20-40% rally, it's the wave structure and the RSI are looking very good. Now, if we were to come back down and take out this low, which I don't think we will do, but again, let's say we were to do that, then this becomes much more bearish, right? Then this could morph into another bearish count where we could extend even further below this target area. Now, I don't think that this is the favorable scenario right now, but again, we can never say that it can never happen, because I read every single comment that people leave on my posts, right? I don't always reply to them, but some people are like, you, that's it, no, you're wrong, this was the low, it's never gonna go back below, that was the low, right? And then it breaks the low, and then people delete their comments, or they're just crickets. They're nowhere to be found. So you don't want to make these grand assumptions, because you could always be wrong, and you're never guaranteed to be right, because there's no guarantees in the market, right? And I see a lot of you too are looking for guarantees. I cannot guarantee anything for you, but I can give you high probability setups, which I think are favorable to play out. And get rid of that count, make it a little bit more simple. And I can give you low probability setups, right? So I think the higher probability right now is that GameStop is going to do either a little bit of a retrace here if the markets have a bad day, but if it's a super bullish day, maybe the wave 2 is already in and we're going to start to take off here, right? So we'll see, but just feels good to be in some more GameStop, buy some more GameStop, and we'll take it as she goes. And again, tomorrow is FOMC day, so lots of volatility is going to come. As far as the markets go, like, I'll just give you a quick rundown what GameStop could be doing alongside the markets. I think the indices could be in a nice setup here for a potential ABC with a double correction higher, right? And if this happens in the IWM and the triple Qs and the Dow Jones, this is, again, like I said many times before, rising tide lifts all boats. So if the Dow Jones and the indices are going to have a good day, GameStop will in turn have a good day as well, right? And when they have bad days, right, where they constantly sell off, GameStop will succumb to the pressure as well and have a bad day. But in my opinion, GameStop is a very good, a stronger stock at the moment, given how the indices are reacting and how well GameStop is holding up to this kind of panic and the VIX spiking up. And you take a look at like Tesla and Nvidia and big cap tech like Meta is down 3% today. Again, Google down another 2.2%. So all things considered, I think GameStop is holding up very well against a lot of these other tech stocks, right? But again, I may be not giving a fair comparison because it's a different industry, right? But I hear a lot of people trash on GameStop. When I tell people I'm investing in it, they shrug, they laugh, it's like, man, do you not know like what the fundamentals are? Like there's tremendous upside in this stock still, and it's if you do the reverse split, it's still trading at very high levels, right? People still think, oh, it's back down to 23, man. It was at 23 when it lost. No, it's you have to do the math. It's still probably like near $100 right now if they didn't split the stock. So anyways, that's it for today. Hopefully this video helps you guys. Again, if there's a better setup, I would give it in real time, but tomorrow's a busy day for me. I probably won't be able to give it in real time, but if I do buy more shares, I will post it. And I always post when I buy more shares. So if I'm going to pick some more up, it's going to be on a sort of like short-term setup again, where I'm not the best at timing the short-term trades, but maybe around this gap fill. So around probably this area, if it does come back down, this is where I would pick some more up. Okay, so we'll see how she goes tomorrow. Have a good evening, guys. Peace.